Hey everybody, John here, Old Hickory Forge. Welcome back for part 3 of the forge build. Here's where we left off. We got the body of the forge pretty much done. It's about time to put some insulation in this guy, so let's get started on that. Here's the main insulation I'm going to be using. It's an Insulating ceramic fiber blanket. It's rated for 2600 degrees. They sell 2300 degree Insulating as well, but if you're going to be doing a lot of forge welding, it pays to just spend a little bit extra money and get the 2600 degree rated stuff. It's going to actually make your forge a little more fuel efficient. So you can buy this stuff from a lot of different places. High Temperature Tools, Hard Luck Forge I think has it. The best deal, I believe, at the time of this video right now is on Amazon. I'll put a link to where I got this in the description. I got like 50 square feet of it for like 140 bucks, and that's going to last for the foreseeable future. So I've already figured out how much I'm going to need to do 2 layers on the inside of this forge. Basically, you want to find the circumference of the inside of the forge, and you're going to do 2 layers. I'm going to need one piece that's 12.5 inches by 37.68 inches. I'm just going to make it 38. And then another one by 31.4, just going to make it 32. And then trim it to where it needs to go. So let's get started on that. Word of warning, whenever you cut this stuff, you want to be in a very well insulated area. That's why I'm up here on my back porch instead of in my workshop, because the fibers that come off this are really, really bad for you. So wear a respirator if you feel the need to, but if you're outdoors, realistically, you'll probably be okay. So let's get started on that. We got our insulation cut, ready to go. This stuff's actually slightly thicker than 1 inch. It's measured on the MSDS as being 1 inch thick, but it's actually somewhat thicker than that, so you're going to end up with a little bit extra, which is fine. Just put it in there to the best of your ability. To get it in there, you're going to want to roll this thing up until you can get it through your hole. It's a little tricky, but it's not that big a deal. Once you're in there, start spreading it out. And that's what we got after 1 layer of insulation. So let's go ahead and put the next one in. And there we go. We're ready for our castable. Alrighty, so we're back down here in the workshop. We got our main insulation put into this baby. Next thing we got to do is put the castable refractory over it. This is probably the most important step in the entire forge build. You never ever want to run a forge with uncoated ceramic wool in it, because when you expose that to the heat and the air that's moving through it, those fibers loosen up and they become airborne, and when you breathe those in, it is just terrible for you. So cover your ceramic wool. I'm using Mizzou castable refractory. I don't know how it's spelled. I'll put a link in the description of where I got it. Again, I think Amazon has the best deal right now, and I'll post a link to where I got it. But best way I found to do this is just take you a small bucket, grab a whole bunch of it out of there, and a little bit of water goes a really long way with this stuff. So I got a little spray paint can lid, and just a couple of these should be more than enough to get about 5 pounds of this stuff to the plasticity we're looking for. Actually, it might be too much. Yep, that was too much. No big deal, just throw some more of your mix in there. I like my castable to have the consistency of thick oatmeal. If you're actually putting like a form in your forge or pouring it around it, you want it a little thinner than that. But the way I do it, I like it a little bit thicker. I feel like it kind of helps it adhere to the ceramic wool a little better. There we go. And honestly, the best tool I found for doing this is just my hands. So I'm just going to grab a handful of it. Start to spread it gently. If you push too hard, you'll tear that ceramic blanket, so just be careful and go slow. Start rinsing the water bucket and all that crap comes off your hands. But if you're the type of person who's going to be irreconcilably upset at getting your hands dirty, then Plaxman probably isn't for you. So here's what we got after the first run of putting the castable in. I'll smooth it out a little bit after the end of the video. But you can see I can't really turn it over without it falling off. That's about as far as you can go. So this has to be done kind of over the course of a couple of days, or like maybe a morning and an afternoon if the weather's hot out, but it's kind of damp out here now. So I'll bring you back when the forge is done and we're ready to fire this guy.